So how can the buyer be ensured that the property is going to be completed and they're going to get it as promised initially?
Because I control the whole process. So not only am I the provider and the designer, the owners actually sign Brisbane Rooming Houses up as their agent. So we're obligated to the owner or the investor. So they sign an agreement called an owner's agent agreement. That puts the responsibility on Brisbane Rooming Houses to deliver it. So we have mechanisms in the building contract, which means that the builder has to stick to the number of construction days. There are penalties that are inserted into the contract if he doesn't. There's a commencement time, there's a completion time. We get all that information and we send it to the owner. So the owner, the broker, the financier, they get all those documentations.
Okay.
Right? So I control all that. There's no other provider out there that does all that.
Okay, fantastic. And so how long does it take normally to build a rooming house from contract, say, to completion?
The low set's about 5.5 months. The high set's about 7 to 8 months.
And what kinds of inclusions are standards in your builds and how are they better than some of the other ones you see in the room?
Where do we start? Like the specification sheet's about 30 pages long. We could go through everything.
Okay.
But look, essentially, the first thing I ever did when I went into rooming accommodation was to find out what the problems were. And I spoke to the one or two agents that were doing the management of rooming accommodation, and there are issues. So one of the biggest issues, in fact, the biggest issues is noise. If you don't arrest the noise issues, you're going to have high turnover of residents because we've got people that are shift workers, and if somebody's watching TV and someone else is trying to sleep in another room or they're on their phone or playing music, you've got to arrest the noise issue. So we do a lot in the house to make sure that the rooms are like recording studios. They are cocooned. There is no noise leaking between the rooms or from the common areas into the rooms. So that's one thing that we do. But if you look at the styling, the designs, what we include in all the rooms, you'll find that we include a lot more for the resident. Therefore, we've got happier residents. And I always say, happier residents makes for happy owners. We choose all the furnishings ourselves and we furnish the houses ourselves. The other builders don't do that. The other marketers out there don't do it. We're the only ones that do it. So we select all the furnishings. The way that some builders do it is they finish building, they will refer the investor to a real estate agent, and then the real estate agent normally gives them a kickback or a commission for getting the listing or getting the property management. And then they sell their furniture package at about the same price that we sell ours, but they're putting much less into the furnishings. So they're actually shortchanging, in my opinion, the investor by putting as little as possible into the rooms, which means it affects the rent. What we do is we have commercial and wholesale agreements with all the big furnishing appliance companies, and we buy at wholesale prices and we pass that exact cost onto the investor. So the investor's actually getting about 20% more dollar for their bang for their dollar than what they're getting from others. So essentially, you're getting about $40,000 worth of furnishings for about 20 to 30% less.
Okay, so you're saving money on basically very good quality furniture rather than... Okay.